Hello, and welcome to a new Total War video series. I enjoyed playing the This is Total War campaign with Ark in the Black a lot, and decided to try another campaign, but wanted to do something a bit different. So I came up with the idea of trying a campaign where I'm not allowed to recruit units, I just have to use heroes and lord characters. I'll talk a bit more about exactly how those rules work once we get in game, but yeah, basically the idea is not to be able to use conventional armies and to rely completely on single entity characters. So I'm going to be playing as Isabella von Carstein for reasons that may be fairly obvious. Basically she offers big boost to vampire heroes in her faction, and she also starts with two of them, which is a big deal because without unit recruitment, the start of this campaign I think could be quite difficult. And yeah, generally the vampires and vampire lords are super powerful characters, being hybrid, super strong melee fighters, plus great spellcasters. So yeah, we'll start with Isabella, see how this goes. I'm playing on Legendary Very Hard Legendary. There's no mods, this is the Twist and Twilight patch. And yeah, let's get started. So I noticed there were some updates to the start of this, the campaign for the Von Carsteins, and the intro cinematic and voiceover is actually a little, well, seems a little out of date, so I'm just going to skip it this time. I let it play for Arken's faction because it's somewhat useful if you're not familiar with the character and stuff, but I ran a practice game before, and yeah, they changed some. They changed the position of some factions around without updating the voiceover, which is fine, but I don't think it's worth listening to anymore. Okay. So, let me start by just going through the rules of this challenge. Basically, I'm not allowing any unit recruitment, so no recruiting from this, no recruiting from Regiments of Renown, and no raised dead from the campaign map. So this is unique to the Vampire Counts, but it obviously is kind of like it wouldn't really make sense to disable normal recruitment without disabling the raised dead, because it's a way to get permanent, zombie, skeleton, and later other units. So at the start of the campaign, I'm going to disband my whole army. And let's see. So I'm only allowed to recruit lords and heroes. Garrisons I'm allowing, so if someone attacks Schwarzhafen, I can use my garrison troops with no restriction. I don't have to sort of like sacrifice them or make them withdraw from battle. I decided not to introduce any sort of restriction like that. So garrisons are fine. Obviously garrisons don't help you offensively in terms of taking territory, but you can use them defensively. Oh, I can use them defensively without any restriction. And I'm also allowing buildings that improve the garrison and give walls. Like, that's all fair game. I would say that as the Vampire Counts, garrisons are particularly bad. I mean, look at the units we've got here. Crypt Ghouls, Zombies, Fellbats, and this is for a tier 3 garrison. So it's pretty crappy. It's not going to hold off any sort of enemy attack on its own. So I don't think allowing the garrisons will actually make this much easier. Okay, I think the last thing I wanted to say about the rules is that I'm making an exception for unit recruitment if it's part of a Legendary Lord item quest chain. So, for instance, I actually can't remember the requirements for Vlad and Isabella's items, but if there's if there's one that requires you to recruit, say, like a unit of Blood Knights, then I'm going to allow recruitment of that unit of Blood Knights. But as soon as the quest is completed, like the turn they recruit, the quest completes, and then I disband the unit. So it doesn't actually do anything, right? It costs me money, but I'm not going to use it in battle or anything like that. So I think that's the only exception for the recruitment. If some other weird situation comes up later in the game, I'll just have to deal with it on the fly. But hopefully the main idea of the campaign is clear. So how's this actually going to work? Well, because of not paying upkeep costs for units, I have more gold to spend recruiting more lords. So right early on, I'm going to be recruiting a lord every turn for at least a few turns, and my plan is to have be fighting battles with multiple lords, as many as I can, lords and heroes together. And due to the nature of the game, and especially for the vampire counts, as you'll see, that sort of army of like even half a dozen characters is super powerful. So against low tier enemy units that lack armor piercing and low melee attack, the vampires absolutely destroy them. Later in the game it'll be far more challenging, right? Because I'm not going to be able to easily produce like quickly raise a new army out of nothing. There's always limited hero recruitment slots, and I can't have too many lords, too many armies, because the cumulative supply lines penalty will just build up. So I'm thinking this will still be a pretty interesting challenge, despite the fact that the vampire counts heroes and lords are super powerful. So right at the start of this campaign, let's just go through the starting area here. So this region used to be owned by Zufbar, the dwarf faction, but now both of these ruins are actually owned by a minor Skaven faction, Clan Ferric. And things got moved around in order to, accommodate new Wood Elf factions and whatever. The other major change that I noticed for the Van Carsteins is that we don't actually start at war with anybody. So previously, I'm pretty sure we started at war with Averheim. Oh, Avaland, excuse me. I believe that was the case. I haven't played Vampire Counts for a while, but you certainly started at war with one of the Empire factions. So the fact that we don't start at war with anyone is kind of nice. I just disbanded my army, so this strength rank is completely inaccurate. We're very weak now, and that is an issue because there's lots of people around who don't like us. So Avaland, Stirland, this balance of power is going to be very different on turn 2 when it accounts for the fact that I just threw my army away. Clan Ferric are very weak. They just start with the ability to recruit Skaven slaves and clan rats, and I'm pretty sure other people attack them early on. And they also don't have a major settlement, so they're not going to be able to sort of scale up to tier 4 and start getting all the scary Skaven units. So I think I'm going to actually pretty much ignore Clan Ferric. We'll see how that works out. It's possible I'd be better off trying to just take them out at the beginning. Another issue, of course, is that there's no vampiric corruption in these regions to start with, which is an issue for vampires trying to expand, particularly because I don't have an army to give the military presence public order bonus. So anyway, the point is I'm not going to go after the Skaven right away. My plan is to actually help Manfred fighting Templehalf, using help here a little loosely. But right at the beginning, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I've got Skaven as neighbours to get some free experience on my 2 vampire heroes by searching these ruins. So it's not going to actually cost me any money here because it's a Skaven settlement, but you still get a level up from discovering them. So here is Karak Dromar, so it starts at tier 2, and yeah, they can recruit clan rats, but nothing else really too major. I guess I should have also check my vampire starting skills. So we start with 1 vampire with the Law of Shadows, and 1 with the Law of Death. This is 1 with the Law of Death, and she has Cunning. So poison attacks and ambush success chance. Not the best trait, but that's fine. I'm not going to do anything like restart to get the best traits. I don't think it's necessary. So in terms of level up, I'll hold on to the skill point for now, but magic is going to be a huge part of success in battles, particularly once we're up against full stacks of enemy troops, and our few heroes and lords can't actually just like straight up beat them in melee because the numbers are overwhelming. So I'm probably going to take both these vampire heroes down the magic lines first, try to get to those double arcane conduits, but I won't decide just yet. So here's our Vampire of the Shadow magic, and she has fleet-footed, which is also not a great trait, although I can probably make some use of that. I mean, speed plus 20% is okay. We'll see. I was hoping for stuff like disciplined, or some of the other ones that boost other heroes and stuff in your army, but yeah, didn't get luck on that, unfortunately. So she's gonna go search Cragmere.
I thirst.
And same story, it's Skaven settlement, like I was saying. And this one's only at tier 1, so this is where their actual army starts. But you can see, I can't remember what these other two units are, but they're Clan Rats or Skaven Slaves. This is Warlord Fisk starts out really weak. He's not going to be happy that we just did this, because this counts as agent actions against him. Yeah, he's pretty annoyed, going to minus 70. But I don't really care. I'm just going to use him to grab experience on my heroes there. Okay, so like I was saying, my plan is to actually help Manfred with Temple Half. I'm using help in a bit of a loose way, because what I really want is to grab these two settlements before Manfred does. And I'm pretty sure at the beginning of basically every campaign, Manfred just blitzes Temple Half. So turn 1, I'm expecting him to take Eschen. Maybe easier if I zoom out like this. So yeah, there's Eschen and Valdenhof, I believe. Yeah, Valdenhof are these two settlements up to the north. So turn 1 and turn 2, I think Manfred will take those out, and then he'll come for Castle Templehof itself. But I don't want Manfred to take Castle Templehof, because it's part of my starting territory here. I own this minor settlement, Schwarzhafen, and I really want Castle Templehof. It's such a big deal getting a major settlement, because we actually need the tier 4, access to tier 4 buildings to recruit more vampires. We can't do that off our minor settlement, even though it's starting at the max tier. So my plan is basically to recruit a Lord turn 1, recruit Vlad turn 2, and then have Vlad, Isabella, and all our other stuff attack Fort Obersteier on turn 3, and hopefully Castle Templehof on turn 4. I think there's some chance Manfred still beats us to it, but that's the plan. Alright, so Isabella can come hang out here and just go into ambush stance. We're not in danger of being attacked immediately. There's no build-up of troops here. You can kind of see that just from the like the military presence 3, but I think that's in Averheim rather than this settlement. And there's nobody here in the moot. So just go into ambush stance here. I do need to cross this territory, and that's going to annoy Averland even more because we'll be trespassing, but there's nothing I can do about that. They're just going to have to be upset. Okay, let's look at starting lords here. Yeah, I can briefly talk about the 3 generic lords for the vampire counts. The Master Necromancer is powerful spellcaster and has some army-wide. He does offer some army-wide buffs, notably a regeneration aura. But he's not good at fighting. Like, he only has armor 15. And at the beginning of the campaign, I really value melee fighting. Melee fighting is the way we're going to get through the enemy armies. Our magic isn't going to be effective offensively right at the start. So I'm looking at probably just Vampire Lords. The Strigoi, they don't have much armor either, but it's kind of offset by the fact that they have more health and they also regenerate right from the beginning, whereas the Vampire Lords have to pick up a skill point in the Hunger. I think the ability is called Hunger, that lets them basically regenerate provided they're in melee. But the thing that swings it for the Vampire Lord is they have access to Arcane Conduits, which the Strigoi doesn't have. They also start with 90 armor plus shields. Their stats are just amazing, basically. So I'm going to recruit whichever of these two has the best trait. Unfortunately, I've not done great on these trait rolls either. I'm not sure that Dark Majesty is going to do much to help other lords, which is mostly what we're going to be fighting with at the beginning. And I don't want to put anyone else into this guy's army because Isabella's going to be the one. Like, Isabella's army is going to have the heroes in it, since she boosts the vampires that are actually fighting alongside her. So, as mediocre as it is, I think I'll take Cunning. for the poison attack. And you may as well sit in Schwarzhafen since you can't move this turn anyway. So yeah, we can only recruit one lord this turn, and next thing is to get some building going. So we start with this recruitment building, which is absolutely useless for me because I can't recruit this stuff, so I'll just demolish it. It's quite a big load of money, which is nice. And I'm just going to rush for the hero recruitment buildings I have access to. So that's the Defiled Cairn, which will let me recruit a White King. Sadly, I don't get an extra White King capacity. You actually need a tier 4 building to get that, but at the beginning of the game, you have the default is to start with 1 hero capacity for each type of hero. So I can still go for that first tier building, pick up the White King, and then just demolish it. You can see we're 2 out of 4 for vampires, but I can't get those extra 2 until I get the recruitment building. And like I said, that needs a tier 4 settlement, so some ways away. And the other thing I want to do is grab the building that lets me upgrade to get necromancers. So necromancers are going to be one of our like common units because you can get extra necromancer capacity from just this building, which you can build in every settlement. It doesn't need to be a major settlement. So vampires and so necromancers are going to be the hero we have most access to. Just while I remember, I wanted to point out one important skill that vampires, including Vlad and Isabella, get, which is this Children of the Night. So you can see here, when you upgrade it to level 3, you get +1 hero capacity for vampires. And this is a big part of why I think this campaign is going to be doable, because I can have, once I can recruit lords at high enough rank to be able to grab those points, in a very similar way to just the Canopic Jar trick with the Tomb Kings, just having loads of lords recruited but not commanding armies, building up jars. I'll have loads of lords recruited but not commanding armies, letting me get more vampire heroes. And so that's going to be a huge deal. I'll talk more about other skills later, but that's the one for like, yeah, that's the one like faction-wide bonus that is a really huge deal for this style campaign. Okay, I think I've almost done everything here. Get to pick some research. So yeah, a lot of these skill points obviously or these technologies are for boosting units that I can't recruit. So I think all of these are literally useless, and I think all of this set of points as well. You know, recruit rank, recruit cost down, upkeep down, yeah, it just doesn't do anything for me. There's a couple of skills in here. Yeah, campaign movement range, that's obviously a good one. Leadership when laying siege, you know, it's fine. And minor extra little benefits that I do gain from, but I'm going to start with this tree down here. Getting an extra blood kiss is great, and these are also just faction-wide bonuses that I do benefit from. So we'll start there. Yeah, in terms of the bloodlines, this is really important first point in the Lamian tree, which gives upkeep minus 50% for all heroes, which is huge, right? Because I'm going to basically be relying on heroes, and they'll be expensive because of the supply lines penalty from having lots of lords. So once we get 2 more blood kisses, we'll go for this. We'll see if I can get one off the Temple Half faction leader. So I believe, yeah, the way you get more blood kisses normally is from defeating faction leaders. And it doesn't matter if they're not a legendary lord, like even if they're a minor faction, their faction leader still gives a blood kiss. But yeah, it might be the case that Manfred, well, we'll just have to see what Manfred does, whether we have a chance to fight their lord or not. Okay, the only thing left is the skill points of the vampires, which I don't need to do this turn, so I think that's everything. I could try and get peace non-aggression pacts with these other factions, but you can see the bar's been updated now, and everyone is just way stronger than us. Most people around us don't like us either. There's these greenskins, the Bloody Spears, so they have this, like, what's it called? Oh no, I'm sorry, I thought they had a affinity with vampires, but maybe I'm thinking of a different faction. Anyway, they're not going to want a peace treaty because they start out so strong. I said peace treaty, I meant non-aggression pact. I will try and, like, yeah, I'm definitely not looking to fight lots of people at once here. It's kind of the opposite to the Total War campaign. So if I can make non-aggression pacts with people, I probably will. Speaking of which, let's go pay Brother Manfred a visit.
Thou wishest to entwine hordes. As head of the dynasty, it shall be mine to command.
So what I want to do here is, I want a non-aggression pact. I definitely don't want to be fighting Manfred early on. Ideally, I don't fight Manfred at all, and I actually can confederate him and get him as an extra legendary lord, and hopefully Helman Gorst as well. So with that in mind, I'm going for this non-aggression pact. I'm pretty sure he won't accept this.
Insolence.
Yeah, but what I can do is offer to join war against Tempelhof. Yeah, and he will accept this. And I'll see if I can squeeze a little gold out of him as well.
Thy fool.
It's kind of funny that he'll accept this, because Manfred's perfectly capable of just slaughtering Tempelhof on his own. But I guess Tempelhof actually start with enough units that the AI is like, yes, I could do with help.
I will.
Okay, great. So that's 700 extra money. Non-aggression pact with Manfred, so he's going to be happy with us. I'm going to try and avoid irritating Manfred. Like, we don't want to fight him, as I said. And Tempelhof isn't going to be able to actually attack us here, so going to war with them even before I'm attacking them myself is totally fine. Alright, that's all for turn 1. Alright, so this faction to the south that I don't actually have contact with just declared war on Clonferric. So as I said, Clonferric's just kind of weak at the beginning, and people are probably going to look at them as a bit of a punching bag, which I'm fine with, because that way I'm not the punching bag. So, building-wise, yep, I have this building slot now, and let's pick up Vlad before I forget. Vlad's already counts as being recruited, so I don't actually pay money for him, I just pay the upkeep, which is great. You can see that our army upkeep is getting high, even though I literally only have 5 units total, like 5 people total, because of the supply lines penalty. So yeah, extra 30% upkeep and everything.
No.
And I'm going to start building walls in Schwarzhafen, because I think I'm going to be attacked from at least one of these Empire factions sooner or later. And nothing in Schwarzhafen is so valuable, but I want to keep it at tier 3 if possible. Okay, these vampires, I'm going to head back up this way. Plan to have them join with Isabella next turn.
Follow me.
So Vlad was just recruited but can't move, but my other 2 vampires I'm going to have positioned so that we can attack Fort Oberstein next turn. Let's just check on how Manfred did. Yeah, so Manfred took Eschen on turn 1 like I said he would. He's made a bit of a dent in the Tempelhof forces too. I believe they still have some troops, obviously. I think they're in Castle Tempelhof. In any case, they're a little, you know, they've got their hands full with Manfred. So I can't, yeah, I'm not close enough to be able to just attack from where I am. So unfortunately I'm going to have to walk into this territory and take some attrition, but that doesn't matter. I guess I could raid, but I don't want to piss the Avaland off even more than I already am from trespassing. So just go here and use ambush stance, and then yeah, Wulfric I will move to here.
My will alone.
Actually, Wulfric can probably just stand where Isabella was standing last turn, so he doesn't take any attrition. This attrition is very minor. We're going to be able to heal this in the actual battle, so it's not a problem. And Vlad I'll get to force march through at the start of next turn, and basically get all my characters together to launch this attack on that settlement. That is a plan, at least. Okay, I think that's everything. Yeah, nothing more we can build. Yeah, now we're way down in strength ranking. Poor Clan Ferric is still even far further below us, despite the fact we disbanded our starting army, which is a bit funny. The Empire factions next door to us, like they don't start so strong either. They will build up full stacks, and there's the awkward fact that neither of them are fighting anybody else, and they really don't like us. So, yeah, sooner or later we'll end up with war there, but hopefully we have time to take out Templehof before that happens. Yep, nothing else to do for now. So let's move on. Okay. So, we took some attrition on Isabella, we finished the channel pit, otherwise nothing happened. Start by checking on Manfred's progress here. Yeah, so Manfred took his third settlement, like I suspected he would, so that's Valdenhof, which is in the fog of war up this way. Okay. So what do these guys have? They do have military presence 4, so they have troops somewhere, but I don't believe they're in Fort Obersteier. Let's just move this vampire up to take a look. Yeah, there's nobody here. So here they just have, yeah, they just have 5 units. We're going to be able to take on this garrison with our heroes and lords, even the few we already have, like right now. No problem at all. They just don't have any troops that can really threaten the vampires, like get through their armor and melee defense. Yeah, you can see that Isabella on her own is rated as like stronger than all 5 of their units. So, alright, but I will bring everyone up. I really want to gain as much experience as I can on all my characters. That's going to be a big deal.
Yes, my sire. Dance macabre.
And you join as well. Okay, so let's just take these level ups in the magic skills. I think at the beginning of the game I'm just going to use Invocation of Nehek to heal my vampires. But yeah, so I'm not going to actually use the magic. I just those spells I just picked up, or you know, sorry, not picked up, the shadows and Deathlore magic.
I shall enslave the world into darkness.
Yeah, and Vlad can force march all the way up. Him being in force march is not a big deal. I'm pretty sure nobody's around here to be able to attack us.
Shed their blood.
Okay. So we get to have a little 5-man raid here. It's like yeah, World of Warcraft instance, except I don't know, Gothic Horror Edition or something. Alright, decent magic roll. And reinforcements coming in from over here. I'll drop a heal on Isabella just at the beginning of the battle. Okay, so we've got Isabella, Vlad, our generic lord, Wulfric, and then our 2 vampires. So everyone in this army is like a super tough fighter, right? Armor 90, lowest melee defense is like 45. Isabella has 80 melee defense, which is disgusting. Speed this up a bit. And the enemy just don't have any missile troops. There's just zombies, skellies, and bats. And yeah, we're just going to walk up and beat the crap out of them, essentially. We're not going to take much damage, and I can heal most of the damage we do take. Yeah, so 864 health points per cast of this for 6 Winds of Magic. Like, this is what we're going to be using in the early game. Magic-wise, just keep our troops, not troops, keep our vampires full fighting strength. Yeah, it's quite a, grim and pasty looking squad. I guess there's the one guy in an actual helmet and everyone else is just there in like noble clothes rather than armor. Oh, the bats have come in. Well, rest in peace, bats. So one thing I will comment on is that because we're so heavily outnumbered, we do end up taking some leadership penalties, even though we're absolutely destroying them. And you do have to watch for that. Like the main way I think you lose battles with little elite groups like this is through leadership loss, rather than actually dying to hit point damage. I'm going to drop this ability down on this unit. This ability is incredibly powerful. Both Vlad and Isabella have it as like a unique spell or ability thing. Minus 40 melee attack is brutal. This unit has a melee attack of 0. Their chances of hitting any of my guys is, yeah, I mean, you can see we're just not taking any damage. May as well use Vlad to drop it down on, yeah, even dropping it on zombies is fine, I suppose. We're essentially taking no damage. I mean, if I mouse over the health bars, you can see we're taking a tiny bit, but there's really nothing even worth spending these healing points on. And all that's happening in this melee is we're just destroying their troops, and they can't do anything about it. So this is why the balance of power is so far in our favor, even though like we're 5 against several hundred. Okay, nothing interesting is happening here. They've got a last unit that decided to leave in reserve. They're now bringing in, but it's just gonna go the same way. Alright, and they're gone. Yeah, so our second vampire right at the end took a tiny bit of damage, but it's not a problem. I don't believe we're going to be attacked over the end turn, and even if we are, we can just heal at the beginning. So yeah, 700 in total. It's interesting that the hero vampires got more kills than Isabella. I think that's... I'm actually not sure what that's from. I feel like Isabella has better stats. Maybe her melee attack is a bit lower, actually. Yeah. Alright, we picked up Scroll. It's not the best bound spell, but I'll still take it. So this is a one-use cast of Fear of Aramar, so minus leadership and vigor on enemies, sure. And... oh, I should have checked what tier the settlement was. I think it's tier 1, maybe it's tier 2. But in any case, I'll just occupy it here. This isn't really too much money, and I don't really want to damage the buildings or cause a public order hit.
Annihilate them.
Okay, so we got that. Also picked up another arcane item. Yeah, this is one thing with having lots of lords, is I think each of them gets some chance of picking up a magic item at the end of battle. So yeah, I mean, again, this is kind of minor. It just penalizes enemy magic casting, but better than nothing. Alright, so I didn't get a level up on the guys coming in as reinforcements, but I did for Isabella. So here's Isabella's skill tree again, and let's see, just super quick, there's this unique item that we'll get later, but is basically regenerative and boosts vigor and has a bunch of other minor benefits. Then there's this unique line of skills she gets up here, and fortunately these are all boosts for vampire units like yeah, Terrorgeist, Vargul, Fargeists, Direwolves, Bats, and so none of these are going to do anything for me. But like lots of the lords in this game, Isabella has so many points here that, like I had with Arkan in the last campaign, you can't really get everything anyway. So the fact I'm not going to pick up any of these points in this row 5 is not a big deal. So what do I want to focus on with Isabella? I definitely want at least one spellcaster with the Lore of Vampires to rush for the top tier spells like Wind of Death and Arcane Conduit. The Hunger would be an extra boost to make Isabella better at fighting, but she's already so good that I don't think I need this immediately. This is constant regeneration provided she's in melee. And campaign movement range is great too, but again I don't need that right away, so let's work on magic with her. Yeah, and I think the same applies to the vampire heroes. So I'll take this spell that boosts friendly leadership because I can actually see that being a bit useful here. Especially if there's like a battle where one of my characters is getting picked on a bit or gets split up from my others and is, you know, surrounded by enemies and taking damage and losing leadership. This could just help them out. Okay, and for this Shadow Vampire, I'd really like the Penumbral Pendulum. Once we're fighting lots of troops, like stacks of Empire infantry, I think this will be really great to deal damage. Okay, and we picked the settlement up at, right, tier 1. This building, yeah, doesn't do anything for us, so let's sell it. And we can upgrade to grab Necromancers, so let's get that going. And we can also pick up another Lord. I do have to watch my income slightly here. I don't want to go into the red income-wise because we do need money for buildings and stuff. Okay, so this is the new trait that came up. I really like both of these, actually, but unfortunately, if I could recruit a Vampire Lord, like a normal Vampire Lord with these abilities, that would be my preference, but I don't want Strigoi, as I was saying at the beginning. So I'll just go for a Weapon Master Vampire Lord here. Right, and he's costing us about twice our net income. Sorry, half our net income, but that's fine. Okay, so we now have 4 armies. So you can see that Templehoff's recruiting here. I think Manfred might attack them over the end turn. If not, they might come attack us. So let's just make sure everyone's in range to reinforce, so that if they attack... Yeah, I want to avoid this. I want to make it so that if they attack anyone, they have to attack all of us, like fight all of us. I think I can arrange that pretty easily here.
Going. Never.
Yeah.
You dare.
I think once you get above 2 reinforcement arrows, some of them don't display properly. I'm pretty sure that Wulfric would reinforce Stefan. Yeah, the main thing is, I guess Vlad is reinforcing still. Okay, so that all looks fine.
Queen of Darkness.
I should see, do I want to keep those items on characters? Yeah, Isabella's going to be my main character with an actual retinue. Some of these other lords I might eventually give, well, they won't really be armies, but other sets of heroes. But I'm mostly going to focus all the good items on Isabella at the beginning. Yeah, so this is I think something I mentioned but didn't show. So plus 15 melee attack and defense when Vlad and Isabella are reinforcing each other. That's huge. That's basically, I'm pretty sure the way it works for the hit roll is the chance of hitting scales like the difference between melee attack and melee defense. So if you have 20 higher melee attack, that's 20% extra chance to hit. Not as in, yeah, I should have should say that differently. I think the attack formula is like constant plus melee attack minus melee defense. So if you have 20 more melee attack, that means the chance of hitting goes up by 20%. So it would go from like 30% to 50%. So that plus 15 is pretty huge, is what I'm saying. And then similar melee attack, melee defense for embedded vampires in her army. So yeah, that's why the vampires are sticking with her. Okay, and yeah, we can't recruit another lord down here, and I can't really afford it anyway. So we're not going to be able to afford everything next turn because I want to recruit a white king and also upgrade to the walls, so we'll have to figure that out. But I think getting a 4th lord here is still good. You kind of run into the issue that it's just very hard to position. You've got so many lords, it's hard to position them to actually reinforce each other. But I think four's an okay number. Yeah, and Templehof, assuming they fight off Manfred or Manfred doesn't attack them, they can come attack us with these troops, but honestly, they're not going to have... Yeah, like our 6 vampires are going to be able to destroy whatever low tier undead units they have, no problem. Alright, guess I can take a quick look at how the factions are doing. Okay, so Bloody Spears, yeah, they start at war with the dwarves, and it looks like Karezakrak have taken both the settlements. I can't remember what they're called, but the 2 settlements that they basically in the same region as Karezakrak. Oh yeah, we've also encountered Dryka. So this is a new Wood Elf faction added by the Twisted and Twilight update, and I don't have the DLC, but so I haven't really looked into what all changed for the Wood Elves. I guess I did skim through the patch notes. I don't know if she's likely to attack us or not. Anyway, I'm not too worried about it. We'll see if the either of the Empire factions declare war in the next turn or two. Alright. I think that's everything.
Von Carstein.
Yep. Okay, so that's interesting. What? Okay. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Well, the good news is Castle Templehof is still in the hands of Templehof, so I can go attack it. Manfred didn't capture it. I think Manfred may have attacked them though. Oh yeah. That's what. Okay, yeah. So Manfred must have an army up here, and he came and fought the main Templehof army, but didn't capture Templehof. Then on their turn, they had a Lord army come over this way, as if it was going to attack us. Then maybe they saw the other units and were like, nah. But in any case, I think it's all worked out.
I am unstoppable.
So let's go take Castle Templehof. They have a bit of a bigger garrison than the fort, but not by too much. Ah, right, and they have walls. So, how do we take on walls when we don't have any troops to build siege equipment and we don't have artillery? Well, fortunately, for some reason, Vlad is a siege attacker. I don't know why, but he is. So all I have to do is make sure it's Vlad who launches the attack, and we can just assault them right away. I guess he just, I don't know, headbutts down the gate or whatever.
Shed their blood. All shall perish.
Alright, well, doesn't like those odds, but Vlad's not going to be on his own. And yeah, the garrison took a beating, so I guess they've been fighting with Manfred. He just didn't manage to actually capture it.
Blood.
I don't see their other army, but whatever. It looked like they had so little left that I'm not particularly concerned about it. Alright, so Isabella can come stand over here. And I could presumably bring both these guys in without having to force march.
Follow me. I hunt. Follow me.
Okay, I'm going to make some attempt to remember these characters' names so that I actually can refer to them accurately rather than just
What?
calling them generic vampire lords. So, Wulfric is the first one we recruited,
Bow, mortal.
and he is the one with cunning. And Stefan is the second, and he has Weapon Master. Okay, I will attempt to remember that.
No mercy. More sleep shines.
And these vampires are Melissa and Emanuele, but I can kind of identify them by their Lord of Magic, at least for now, so...
Massacre them.
Alright. Yep, odds very much in our favour again. I'm going to fight this manually just to make sure we take no damage. And because watching 6 people take over a city, a castle on their own is kind of amusing, I guess. Once, at least. There's a bit of a risk of battles becoming repetitive in this campaign, and so I'll use Auto Resolve if I can, but I don't feel like starting to use it right at the beginning. Okay, we don't need to gamble. Let's just hang out in the woods to start. Oh, Vlad also has Vanguard deployment. That's interesting. Yeah, so our reinforcements are coming in from over here. We might get shot a bit from the towers if they stick zombies up on the walls to man them, but it shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, my plan here is just to get everyone together, then walk up to this corner and assault the walls, kill anything that's on the walls, and then just take out the rest of their stuff. It shouldn't be a problem at all. Undead are terrible at holding walls. I mean, they've got no missile weapons. The towers can shoot at us, but like I said, they just don't do enough damage. They've got some skellies, some zombies, some bats, and nothing dangerous. There's no vampire in the garrison, notably. Yeah, enemy heroes and lords are the one thing at the beginning that can actually seriously hurt us, particularly because of the combat buffs that the AI gets on the hardest difficulty settings. But zombies and skellies, like in that first battle, just stand no chance. Yeah, so we're taking a tiny bit of damage, but that's actually almost nothing, isn't it? Okay, one thing it can be a little finicky is trying to get single entities to climb up ladders. So, yeah, the mouse, you have to have the mouse in exactly the right place to make it work.
An ancient power is rising.
Isabella von Carstein! Very well.
I will.
I'm in your thrall. It shall be. I will not
Alright.
these.
And the vampires hoisted up ladders from nowhere and assaulted the walls. I guess I could have had Vlad just smack down the gate, but this works too.
Isabella von Carstein.
I guess because I'm not going to do it in later battles, I'll do a zoom in of the vampires slaughtering these zombies. Yeah, because of the animations, they can actually kill multiple of them in one hit a lot of the time. Oh no, our lord is under attack. Yeah, goodbye zombies. And they're gone. Alright.
Isabella.
Who would be next? This guy. Okay, so this is the kind of general of their army, but it's still actually just a generic unit of skeletons. I'll drop down the debuff on them anyway, because they have a higher melee attack than zombies, but yeah, they can't do anything to us.
Vampire.
I could use the pendulum spell, but I don't know. It's not necessary. How much does it cost again? 13. I can actually, you know what? I can cast it and still have 3 casts of the Nehek healing. So let's see how many kills she gets. She's at 36 now. Oh, okay, it didn't actually do much. Yeah, you want this spell, the wind or like the linear spell, like the spells that cause damage in a line. You want a huge clump of units, and you could easily get hundreds of kills with these spells. They just didn't have enough here. Alright, nothing interesting is happening. Taking a tiny bit of damage, drop a couple of heals. Okay, let's go take out these guys. The fact that we have 4 lords who can all cast the healing spell, so they're not having to share a cooldown is super nice. Not that I didn't need to do any healing here, really. Things will definitely get tougher when we're fighting full stacks of Empire or Skaven or whatever it is. Sadly for Templehof though, they did not stand much chance. I guess I may as well just use the debuff on the bats. Oh, they're gone already. Fair enough. There we go. Okay, so interestingly we have the option to subjugate. I forgot that became available. So that would keep Templehof alive but as my faction. But there's no need to do that. This would secure my province. The three territories I now hold, that lets me get the commandment going to boost growth and so on. So yeah, just occupy it. And Templehof is still alive, I guess because they have an army over here, but I doubt they're going to be able to do anything. Okay, let's take some level ups here. So, I'm planning to have Vlad and Isabella fight together, at least at the beginning. So with that in mind, I don't think I need to prioritize the invocation of Nehek on Vlad, or going down the magic line. And since I haven't picked this up on Isabella yet, giving Vlad extra campaign movement range, because they're going to be sticking together, this having one of them move faster isn't super useful. So I think I'm going to just go for the hunger. Make him even more of a monster in melee. Could go for this too. Yeah, I really don't need the hunger. Well, I was going to say I don't need the hunger immediately, but now I'm thinking, what will our next battle actually be? There is some chance it's against like a full stack of Empire troops in a turn or two. So yeah, let's just go for the hunger to boost his fighting ability.
My will alone.
Okay, Wulfric also leveled up. Probably the same deal here. Yeah, I'll just have Isabella work on lower vampire's magic to start with, I think. And Isabella didn't quite make it to rank 3, but her heroes did, or they're at rank 4 even. Sure, let's grab that. Yeah, this buff I don't think is so useful. 12% speed, nah, I'll go extra points in the pendulum. Okay.
Unstoppable.
So what do we want to do now? I completed the Defiled Cairn, so let's grab a White King. And we have Tough, Dread Incarnate, or Dark Majesty. I think Tough is actually not... I think that like the buffs to make melee strength stronger, you know, just make them tougher or better fighters, is actually valuable in this campaign, unlike normally. But I'm not going to pass up on Dread Incarnate. I think enemy leadership penalty is valuable, helping break the enemy army that little bit earlier, and you can stack these as well. So if I have enough lords and heroes with this ability, we'll be able to rout enemy armies really quickly. So sure, let's go ahead and work towards that. So welcome to the gang, Edmund von Schwarzschafen. Alright.
Von Carstein.
And we have a building slot open in the fort, and we also have, we can decide what to do with Temple Half. So Temple Half doesn't have a super powerful unique building, it just has this Forester's stack chain, which gives us trade resources. Yeah, timber logs and a bit of income, but the other bonuses don't help. And let's see, they've built the public order plus income building to start with. I think I want to demolish that and go straight for this. That plus 20 growth is really nice. I have a long way to go on Castle Temple Half to get it up to tier 5. So I'm inclined to just demolish this and go for the growth building there, and probably just go for the growth building right away in the fort here. I can't start building defenses till it gets to tier 2 anyway. Yep. And this upgrade costs 3,000. Alright. Okay. Let's think about this. So next turn I have about 2,000 in income, plus 300 from selling this. So if I don't start that construction, I can spend basically all my gold next turn and start walls in Schwarzschafen. I think just given the positions and the fact that it's a bit further away from these other two settlements, which are really easy to defend together, I think that means yeah, let's prioritize just the defenses here. And commandment-wise, I want growth. Yeah, growth and vampiric corruption, that sounds fine. Well, we're already at 100% corruption, but the growth is what I really want. Yeah, don't need that yet. Yeah. Okay. And unfortunately we didn't get to pick up a blood kiss from killing the, we didn't fight the faction leader for Temple Half, but that's okay. We still reduced them to no settlements, which is the main goal.
I am unstoppable. What do you want? The world will
Okay, let's maybe have Vlad hang out outside the settlement, and Isabella can stand inside it, because I believe that'll actually help a tiny bit with public order. Yeah, +1. Well, it all counts.
This better be important.
Might have to come down to fight the Temple Half army, but it's probably more likely I'm heading over west, so let's just move in to make sure. Just make absolutely sure I'm standing within the
We are in agreement.
reinforcing range.
What do you want? Follow me.
And yeah, it's kind of a freebie to just use the channeling stance. I could use ambush stance, but well, maybe the reason to use ambush stance is it builds up towards the. There is a trait you get from being in ambush stance enough times
We are in agreement.
that slightly boosts your ambush chance. So why not?
I thirst.
Bow before me.
Okay, that all looks great. And, oh, right. When I was talking about the economy before, I forgot something really important, which is I can just demolish this for 1500. Okay, so with that in mind, I can actually build a growth building here and still afford walls next turn. Is there any chance I want another lord? Let's look at this. Yeah, so even picking up a Master Necromancer who's the cheapest would remove my income completely. And yeah, I don't want that. I need to build up income a bit more before picking up another lord, I think. So let's go ahead and demolish this. There's no point keeping it around and then getting it up to tier 3. Like, this doesn't get us an extra White Lord slot, as I mentioned before. So it was always just going to be a temporary building. And go for the charnel pit. Okay, great. Yeah, Temple Hub basically down to nothing. And Sylvania are happy with us because we've been fighting a mutual enemy, so I think they're very unlikely to attack us now. I don't think Manfred's going to want to confederate anytime soon unless somebody comes and beats him up. Usually that's how it works, is you're more likely to get a confederation with you know, another faction from the same race if they lose a battle convincingly and they're very weak suddenly. But we'll just have to bide our time on that one. See if Manfred goes after any of the Empire and whether it's to our advantage to join him. So yeah, I've got Ostermark, Stirland, Averland, who are all stronger than us. They're going to be building up stacks. And the Wargrave of Woe, we'll just have to see. Yeah, she doesn't like us at all. Alright, no interest in the non-aggression pact with her, but that's fine. Yeah, there's no way any of the Empire factions will give us non-aggression pacts. Alright, let's move on. Okay, so Templehof did come up and try and besiege us. Yeah, good luck with that one, my friend. So this is just desperation. They lost the last settlement. It's actually really nice that they didn't just go attack Manfred. Although Castle Drakenhof's also under siege. Oh, I see. They did attack Manfred. Huh. Well, what I was going to say is it's nice they attacked us because we get a free battle out of this. So let's see. Is this their faction leader? No, it's not. Zelig von Kruger. He must have fought Manfred and gotten wounded. So sadly, killing this guy won't give us a blood kiss, but still extra experience, which is really valuable. Okay, I'm going to try keeping the episodes for this series down to roughly 1 hour, you know, give or take a little, rather than closer to 2 hours for the Tomb Kings campaign. Just see how that goes. So, had a very good start here, managed to take our starting region. Templehof's going to be wiped out this turn, and we're friends with Manfred, and not at war with anyone else. So yeah, couldn't have asked for much of a better opening, I think. Anyway, I'm excited to see where this campaign goes. I think it will definitely get a lot tougher, but should be fun. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for part 2.